Hello everyone, welcome to the survival games. We are back for the first time in 2 years playing survival games, and what else? What are we going to be doing? I'm going to be talking about what makes a UHC recorded round good. This is a very scripted. By that I mean I have 7 points on a notepad on my computer. That's how scripted this is. And there will be some survival games playing in the background. The survival games episode posted after this will be completely a live recording, I guess. Not like streaming, but I'm not going to be dubbing over it. I think I was just listening to music and I recorded the game. So that's why I can't. There was no talking in it. But I'm going to go straight into what I think makes a UHC recorded round good. First one is the cast of players. The cast of players is what makes a recorded round enjoyable to watch. You can either have... The way I see it, there's two options in this. You can either have really good players that make the PvP fights really, really intense and suspenseful and entertaining to watch that way, or you can have funny players that have good personalities. I'm not saying that good PvPers don't have good personalities, but if you have funny players, that also works, or like players with good personalities. Whatever it is, either or, it makes it more enjoyable to watch no matter what. So if you are making a recorded round, make sure you don't just accept everyone and you actually do some hunting. Say, oh hey, yeah, this guy seems like a chill guy, and this guy seems like he doesn't talk whatsoever. Or this guy's really good at PvP, and you want to kind of balance as well. You don't want a bunch of really good players and a bunch of really bad players in the same recorded round, because it makes it very, very difficult. I mean, you can have that. It has happened before, but it makes it less suspenseful and everything. But that can also be combated by having everyone has a really good personality and all that stuff. The second point I have on my nice WordPad is branch out into other communities. A great example of this is United. I'm not saying that you need to have 25 players all from different places, but it's always good to have applications every season just to bring in, like, you can screen all the applicants, but bring in at least 1 or 2 really good people. You don't want to bring in too much, and I will extend on why you don't want to bring too many people in later. The third one is good organization. This is very, very self-explanatory. But sadly, a lot of RRs, especially small RRs, suffer from this. Good organization, it can be summed up. How many seasons does an RR have? That's a good idea on how organized it is. It's not be-all and end-all, because you can take Paradox as an example, and they're terribly organized, and they somehow have like 14 seasons or something. But usually, if an RR has a certain amount of seasons, it's pretty well organized. And what else? You also want to be very transparent with the players in your RR. So you don't want to go and tell them and just not tell them a date until like a week before it actually happens, because a lot of people have plans and all that stuff. This is very opinionated, by the way. Some people can do it completely differently if they want, but that's pretty much my opinion on it. And also, I forgot what I was going to say, but what goes along with good organization is always take input and help if you're able to get it. I was in an RR called Differently a while back, and I did complain about it a whole lot, and I eventually got kicked for it for suggesting something that, in my opinion, would make the RR better, and asking why certain things were done a certain way. Because the owner of that RR was, I forgot their name already, but they were very, very well organized. They set a date, and you had to make it. If you didn't make it, it wasn't their fault, and it was your fault. So that's it. The second one is they had a great cast of players. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. Well, obviously they were trying to, but I'm not sure they just let anyone in at this point, because I applied and got in with having not posted in 2 years, which is a bit off. But yeah, they had a great cast of players and everything. The problem was that they didn't really know how to. They knew how to plan an RR. They just didn't know how to make it happen, if that makes any sense. Like, for example, if you take their intro, which I'll play a clip of here, it is a very bare bones intro and boring to watch. I only kept it in for the first episode out of respect, and I just kept it out of the rest because I don't like having intros like that throughout the whole thing. For the second season, I made the intro, and I don't know. Now I look back on it, I was kind of a jerk, but I made the intro. It was definitely ahead of the intro that they had, It was not good by any means whatsoever. It was very bad, in fact, but it was better than what they had. And I used that and their intro as the ending intro just to show some respect, because they tried, alright? It was all good. But that's the main thing with Take Help and Input, because we were able to help out with the intro. Because there was a bunch of really good editors there. I threw that intro together in like 3 hours or something. If I had like a day, I could have made it way better, but I didn't know if anyone was going to use it. That's why I only put it together in like 3 hours or something. And input, always take input. Like, by input, I don't mean put a pull out so the players decide everything that's going on, as you have seen in a few recorded rounds. I think that makes a terrible RR. And yeah, that's about it. So remember to always take input and help. It will keep the players happy, and it will keep the UHC looking nice. The fifth point I have is be unique and fresh. No one wants to see cut clean Hasty Boys Time Bomb as an RR. I mean, sure, if you have a good cast of players, that will work. Except if you are a small RR and you want to be noticed, you can't have boring scenarios with boring players, which is kind of self-explanatory. But if you have a very unique scenario and a unique twist in the season, people are going to watch it even if your cast isn't as entertaining as another cast that has boring scenarios, but they will watch it because of how just unique and unheard of that is. But nowadays it's kind of hard to do that because of how many scenarios have already been done, and how RRs kind of pioneer, like big RRs, like big Reddit RRs, kind of pioneer the creation of new scenarios. Not so much now, but like a year or two ago, that's what was going on. And it's hard to be unique and fresh. For example, if you go search up UHC application on YouTube and sort by upload date, so it shows you all the newest ones first, I guarantee it will be pretty much the same application video over and over again, and the scenarios are not going to be anything special. That's the problem I have with finding RRs. Number 6, not many roster moves per a season. I'm gonna have to explain on this one a bit more, but if you take a roster, you want to carry it through as much as possible through the other seasons, while also introducing many new players. Again, a bad example of this happening is Paradox. They had almost a complete RR change every season, and that just made it hard for a normal viewer to watch, if that makes any sense. Like, people want to watch the same players going over and over again. Not over and over again doing the same things, but they want to follow that player's journey, if that makes any sense. But you also want to introduce new players to, again, keep it unique and fresh. But carry as many people over from a previous season as you can. And number 7, very, very hard. Actually, it's easier to do now, but attractive to watch. This is another thing that you have to do with the application process, and watch a channel's videos. I find generally it's easier to look for a YouTuber who doesn't only post recorded rounds. Sorry, Bowfish, if you are watching this. But again, there's obviously exceptions to this, like Bowfish, he's a great personality and everything. But attractive to watch. You want to find YouTubers that post videos other than RRs, just because generally people who post RRs don't really edit their videos down. And for RR, you obviously don't need to, but it's nice to have a bit of editing in there. Like, I know I don't generally watch RRs, but there's a YouTuber called, very small YouTuber, definitely bigger than me though, called Plushy. They edit their RRs down, or Shut Up Brick. They put music in the RRs and edit it down, just to make it more enjoyable and easier to watch. That's what I tried to do. I'm not as good as it, but I think it makes it slightly more enjoyable to watch, because a lot of people find it difficult to watch an RR, even if they like the person, because it just gets, the first three to four episodes are just so stale and hard to watch. So it's nicer if you can find people who are willing to cut it down and make it very enjoyable. Attractive to watch also goes along with the intro. If you want an intro, cool. If you don't want one, that's also fine. But an intro generally, for the average viewer, it makes or break whether they watch the season or not, or try and watch the season or not. Because if they see an intro like this, for example. I showed a different intro again, but they see an intro like that, yeah, sure, they might try and watch it, But if it's if they haven't watched the YouTuber before and that's their first time coming to this RR, it's going to be very difficult for them to. They might just click off the video in general, because if the first impressions make up a lot, and your intro is your very first impression, it's your introduction to the season. If, like, that's why I was very adamant about, let's just say adamant, if you were in the Differently chat, you know what I mean. I was very adamant about having a nicer intro that was nicer to watch, made it more interesting. Anyway, that's my opinion on what makes a UHC recorded round good. Any questions, leave it in the comments below. I'm expecting one reply from Taco, and that's about it. And he's probably just going to say yeet or something. Anyways, it's just my opinion. I am by no means an expert on this, and sadly, I didn't really jot down my notes more, because I'm definitely repeating myself at some points. But hopefully you did enjoy the video, and SG is coming back. I already have one episode completely edited, and this is my second one, but I'm posting this one first.